on May 31st, 2019. Nancy and I left on our Big Blend Love Your Parks tour. We left Yuma, Arizona, which is our tour headquarters, and we headed northeast to Greeley and Weld County in northeast Colorado. And, it's because we met Amy Dugan and Jennifer Finch on our radio show in April of 2018. And by the time we were done chatting, we were like, well, that's it. We got to get to Greeley. And lo and behold, here we are. On our way up here, we spent a couple of nights in Gallup, Mexico, and you'll hear more about that on Friday's show. But we got through Greeley. We went through the mountains. And, Nancy, we're not talking hills. We're talking big mountains. Big mountains. And you don't have to do the big mountains to get here.
Big mountains. Great big mountains.
I know. It was beautiful. It is Colorado as a state is absolutely spectacular, jaw-dropping gorgeous. It really was. And then we got here. We got to Greeley, and this is a beautiful city. It's full of art, history, culture, amazing food, beautiful trees everywhere, and the whole county is actually made up. I think it's one of the largest counties, if not the largest county in the state of Colorado. And there's all these charming historic and agricultural communities to visit. And the history really goes out to even everyone coming over here, the pioneers coming out and living on the plains. And you can go to the plains area. It's the Pawnee-National-Grasslands. We did that. And there's all kinds of attractions and sites and experiences like the Wild Animal Sanctuary. There's Lancaster-Lupton's Fort maintained by the South Platte Valley Historical Society that we went to, the Greeley History Museums, so much more. But we have three special guests joining us. We call them our Love Your Parks tour guides here. They've been also special, and they're joining us today to talk about what we have experienced and what is still to come. We'll be here through Sunday. So our first guest is Amy Dugan, and she is from Visit Greeley. And you should go to our website, visitgreeley.org. That's the main hub for Greeley here in Colorado. So, Amy, how are you?
I am great, and I know you all are great because I've seen you all day.
I know. We played with monsters together. We played history.
Oh, it's a day.
Yeah, Nancy, we're trying to keep Nancy connected here, but she keeps going down her bottle of wine for some reason.
Oh, no.
Amy.
Uh-oh.
I know. Amy, we'll get her back out here. I want to say thank you for, stocking the fridge here with wine, this wonderful Colorado wine, and this Colorado Cellars. So this is from Grand Junction, right?
Right. It's from Grand Junction. The valley over there is full of fruit orchards, and Colorado supports Colorado, so we wanted to make sure you had something from there. And I personally love their wine, so I said, okay, I'll kind of give you something from the western slope, even though you're in the plains part of Colorado.
But people can drive. Isn't that kind of a straight shot from Grand Junction to here? It's kind of like a nice road trip.
It's about 7 hours straight on I-70. It's a beautiful drive. You go through the Glenwood Canyon. Yeah, you go just gorgeous country. But we support our state, which is wonderful.
Well, I want to tell you that the one thing today we found out when we got back here is that that today is our 22nd anniversary of Big Blend, and we totally forgot about it. We were having so much fun, and all these people, our friends and partners, thank you. All these partners are messaging us and going, "Hey, happy anniversary!" We're like, "Oh, cool." So now we're drinking the Riesling in happiness over this. So,
Perfect.
So that's what we're doing. But I want to bring on our next tour guide, and that is Jen Finch. She's the county gal. So if you need any fences unlocked, she can do it. I'm just saying. Jen took us out. She's from Discover Weld, and you can go to her website, Discover Weld. And so she's working with this whole region, showcasing what the entire county has to offer. And she took us out to the Pawnee-Grasslands, and we had so much fun with her. It's just a great time. Jen, how are you doing? Because it's been so long since we've seen you.
I know. It's been about an hour. I am well, and I'm excited to be back on with you guys.
Hey, I know. Hey, this is cool. So you're the county gal and Discover Weld. Am I right? It's the largest county in Colorado?
We're actually the third largest county in Colorado.
The third
We're 4,000 square miles.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And it's interesting.
It is.
It's interesting to me when I look at it because, where you took us out to the grasslands. There was a grasslands where it's like the short grass prairie, and it's beautiful scrub, and then you had the two big buttes, the big beautiful buttes. That's what we call them.
Yes.
That you took to go and see, and we saw pronghorn and meadowlark birds and the lark bunting and the prized burrowing owl, which you've got great photos of the burrowing owl. So
that was
it's amazing to go for. That was fun, and the prairie dogs. Thank you for tweeting the prairie dog photo. We love them.
I just want everyone to know we made good. We showed you the prairie dogs.
Yeah, I know. We were like, we want the prairie dog. Call them all up, but they are everywhere here. You sent us, it took us out to the scrub area, like the prairie, but you also took us, also part of the grasslands, to this lush oasis with a little river running through, or just like a little stream. These beautiful cottonwood trees. So it was like night and day in one grassland.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting how this terrain is made up.
Yeah, it is. And actually, we stopped at the Crow Valley campground, and it was interesting. I posted that picture from Monday morning. The stream it's actually quite full. And a woman had commented on the post that she grew up in Briggsdale, which is a town near there, and she recalls, many summers where there's never any water in the stream. So we've had a very a wet spring, and that's led to the beautiful stream running at the campground and lush green grass. And we saw the start of the wildflowers, and I think in another week the grasslands are going to be covered in wildflowers, so that's going to be exciting to see.
I know. We it's just, I know. Can we stay another week, Amy? Stay. We already want to come back here.
We'll
sure.
talk to Michelle.
I want to bring our. I know we're going to talk to Michelle because she's, we're calling you tour guides, but you're really like our road trip angels. And Michelle is over at this amazing museum that we've heard all about, but we're only going to get to visit on Friday because we want to see the action in the museum. It's the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, and you can go to the website at CMRM, so Colorado Railroad Museum, so CMRM.org. Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Hey, it's good. Well, it's cool. Like Amy and Jennifer have been on the show, and we've met you face to face first, which is cool. But you got us involved with these big monsters, and this is the one thing we saw about Greeley, and one of the reasons we wanted to come here, as well as the Pawnee-National-Grasslands, is we went on your website to visit Greeley, and then on Facebook, and saw these big monsters walking the streets of Greeley, and we're like, we want to know what that is. We want to do that. And today you got us into the actual monster chamber as it is, but this is really a cool project.
That monster
we met
chamber.
Ed and Marcia.
That's good.
Yeah, the monster chamber. Yeah, I like that too. But we met Ed and Marcia over at Distorted.
So that was Distortions Unlimited, and I'm so glad that you all were interested in this unique event that we do in Greeley. It's one of my favorite things outside of the museum that I work at, which I love the museum. But Monster Day is fun, and it's a neat community event. And so I was so excited for you to see the inside of the Monster Chamber.
Yeah, and this monster event is, tell everybody, because this comes up in August, right? So I want people to know about it. But this is a community thing for not to be a monster, right? This is tied into a nonprofit.
Right. So Monster Day really started out as just kind of a community event to celebrate monsters because there's a company that makes monsters in our city. And we have a lot of talent around monsters and different kinds of creative and curiosity kind of things. And then we found that there was this nonprofit called Don't Be a Monster in Denver. And they have a great message about anti-bullying. And they work with like the hardest age group, which is junior high kids. And they have such a really poignant message for them, and it's really well done, and we loved what they do, and so we partnered with them, and so all the proceeds from this community event go to Don't Be a Monster, and we help support them as a nonprofit, and then they come into our community schools and do this programming, so it's a really neat thing.
Oh man, this is very cool. Now the Railroad Museum, we've heard so much about this, and I'd say this is model train, so not to be confused with there is another Colorado train and railroad museum. This is a different thing, but isn't this also like one of the largest model train museums?
It is. We do have the largest layout of its kind on the planet. And what makes us unique is the way that we operate it. It's operated exactly like the real world. So that's what you're going to see on Friday. So we have a dispatcher, and he's in control of the railroad and all the switches on the railroad, but he sits in another room, just like in the real world where, like, the line that goes through Greeley, the dispatcher's in Omaha, Nebraska. So, and then the trains are individually controlled, and we look like 1975, and we love that because that's when you saw cabooses on trains. You don't really see cabooses today because in the late 70s they were phased out due to technology. So our year's 1975. We make it look that way. We use radio as our means of communication in there, but it's really wireless, digital, and all like computers underneath. It's very fun.
So I can't wait. Nancy and I can't wait. We're still pulling her out of the tunnel. She's in the train tunnel. I don't know what happened with her there, but we're getting her hooked back up there. But so we're both excited. And Priscilla, now listen, Priscilla the pink sock monkey, our travel mascot. Let's just talk about her having fun. So she hung out with monsters today. She's been in a speakeasy in Fort Lupton over at Holy Stromboli. She's been to the grasslands. She's been all over the place. She's got a new pin from Holy Stromboli. So this is becoming quite an interesting thing. I think, Amy, by now we're going to be able to do a little video of Priscilla in Greeley and Weld County because she's been having way too much fun.
We have her in the art alley. We had her in the Union Colony Civic Center, sitting out in the audience, looking at the beautiful scene there. Yeah. We had her all over town. She's definitely hung out with the monsters. So, yep, you'll have a great video of Priscilla enjoying Greeley and Weld.
Yeah, and
today we went to the museum. Yeah, exactly. Well, we can't wait for the the model train museum. So so I know that's going to be good, for her to get in there too. But today she went to the Greeley Museum and she hung out. There's like a little kids corner in there where they learn about agriculture and potatoes and all of the life here in Greeley. But Amy, I was blown away. Nancy and I were both blown away. The stories that Peggy the historian. I mean, this lady knows history. She makes history fun. You want to just sit and talk to her all day long. It was just so fascinating about how Greeley was founded by Nathan Meeker and the set of principles. And here we are drinking wine from Colorado in a city built on temperance and other things. It's not built on temperance no more.
No, we have 10 wonderful 10 breweries and a couple distilleries. So we've kind of moved away from that temperance piece. But there are still some other things from those founding principles that we like, which is community and taking care of our families and just being a great place to live. But, yes, we do have our bars.
Yeah, we can't wait. So tomorrow night,
I know.
We're here. We're going to be doing the Greeley Blues Jam on Saturday. We're very, very excited about that. You've got all kinds like Larkin and Poe. You've got just Shamika. You've got such amazing talent at the festival, and it goes from 11 till 11. So we ain't waking up on Sunday morning, but we will still have our show. We'll be there.
We will.
But Friday night, what goes on downtown? Because we're going to go hang out with Michelle at the museum, and then we're going downtown, Michelle, I know, but Amy, I hear there's a party.
We have a great party every Friday night in the summertime in downtown Greeley. It's called Friday Fest, and we are the only place right now in Colorado where we have what's called a Go Cup district, which means we block off a block in downtown along 9th Street from 8th to 9th Avenue, 9th to 10th Avenue, anyway. So we're out there, and you can walk into any of the restaurants along this lovely street and get your favorite adult beverage and then wander back out and see your friends and listen to the bands and enjoying the open air. And just we have a block party every Friday night, and the one tomorrow night or Friday night will be amazing because, again, the Blues Jam is becoming such a cornerstone of an event in Greeley. We get people from all over the country coming to hear some really great blues bands.
Very cool. Very cool. And the other thing we're going to be doing is the Centennial Museum, right? That's going to be
Yes,
something we'll do on
so
Saturday. A village.
on Saturday
It's a
morning.
village.
So Centennial Village is a place where we preserved a lot of the buildings that were original in Greeley, and we didn't want to tear down all of them. I mean, progress and widening streets and things like that, but we took a lot of these homes and moved them into an open-air park on the north end of town, and we call it Centennial Village Museum, and you can wander from house to house. We have a one-room school out there. We have our church. We've got the original Montfort home. We have a soddy. We've got a blacksmith, and on the weekends we do have folks in period costumes that are out there showing people what it was like to live in Greeley back in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Really cool. We can't wait, because I know, to me, when you get to see the period dress, it really gives you a sense of what it was like. There's something about, like, imagine being there at that point in time. Imagine churning butter. And doing your laundry by hand with one of those scrubbers. I know you have a washing machine museum in this county, but we can't all just get to it. That's just one of those things. But there is one. I'm just saying, because that's a trip. But when you think about what it was like back then, I think that's really special. Talking about history, Weld County with these towns, Jen, you took us to Grover. We had to pull over for Grover. The musician Grover Anderson. I had to do it because it's got his namesake, but there's a train museum there too, in that beautiful old red building. That was a depot before, right?
It was a depot, yeah. Now it's not, they talk about the history of the depot and the trains up in that area. The inside of the museum actually houses just a bunch of historic artifacts from the homesteaders and families that lived out on the prairie up there.
And that was a trip. When we went out to the Pawnee-Grasslands, we went through that one old cemetery, a very historic cemetery, and, you were telling us, like, how people came out, and they were homesteaded on the prairie. I mean, this was like they had to do dry farming, right, when they came out?
Yeah, they had to. It's interesting throughout the course of time what happens on the land, and I'm always impressed when I go up there, and you can see all the way to Nebraska and Wyoming from wherever you stand up there, and there aren't any trees, and there's no visible water, and a lot of people, as they came across to the west, said, yep, this is where I'm going to plant my flag, this is where I'm going to homestead. And so the cemetery we went to was the Sligo Cemetery, and a lot of the original homesteaders up in that area are buried there, and we saw headstones that dated back, I think the earliest we saw was 1844. So they're tough people to make it out on the prairie. So it's nice that you can still see some of that history right out there.
I want to talk to you about Fort Lupton when we were out there too, but going back to, here's this prairie life, but you go down the road, which wasn't just down the road back in the day, to Greeley, and here they are digging ditches and have this incredible irrigation network that is still being used today, and you guys have good water here. I just want to stick my mouth into the faucet.
We've got some of the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago we won best water in the country and the best tasting water, and we keep staying within the top 4 for the entire country of great water. And if you think about it, our water comes straight out of the Rocky Mountains, and we had some brilliant water attorneys and very far-sighted individuals who understood the importance of water back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, and they were very smart about creating water rights and a water court, and water is huge in northern Colorado, and Greeley, as Jen will tell you, is incredibly important in our Weld County history.
This is so cool. That's what's so interesting. You guys have, like, when you go through all of Weld County, and Greeley's the county seat, this is like the hub. Like, come stay in the hub and venture out to all these communities, because each one has something unique to offer. Yesterday we went down, we started out from Greeley, we drove to the Wild Animal Sanctuary. This is, I mean, it's one of the
How do you describe
most impressive. I mean, the largest and oldest large carnivore sanctuary in the United States. I was in tears at one point, but then realizing these animals are being taken care of and actually having that cushion, to just relax now and enjoy what they can of the rest of their lives. This sanctuary, Pat Craig started it when he was in his teens. He saw what was happening in zoos to, tiger cubs being in the back, and how these tiger cubs eventually get euthanized, and started seeing, this was way back in the 70s, way back when I was born. And it was like, when he started at 18 years old saying, okay, well, I'm going to rescue these animals and take care of them. And he did. And today this sanctuary is huge. And it's now only open to the public. And the only reason is because they realized that, and they wanted to do this to educate people, but not disturb the wildlife. They have leopards, all kinds of bears. They have wolves. They have lions. It's just amazing. And they also take in other animals that need a home. But you get to walk on this platform, this boardwalk, and so you're up above the animals and way up above the animals. Bring your binoculars, and just a tip is go early in the morning or later in the evening if you're here in the summer. That's when the animals come out more. But we watch bears playing together. It's just, these animals are happy, but they aren't disturbed because you're above. Just like Ken, who took us around, said, when we're not bothered by an airplane above us or a bird flying above us because they're not in our direct territory as us being land animals. And so that's what it's like there. Absolutely amazing, an educational facility for sure, but it's really interesting to see the animals have lunch. They've got a great cafe there. But Nancy, we're going to do some stories on them.
There's so much. I don't even know where to start.
I know. We're going to do a series. Stay tuned on that, everybody. We'll be, doing some stories on all the different rescue animals from the facility. Also doing an interview with Pat Craig and Kent, in the beginning of July. So you'll watch for that. We'll be posting stories on that because it's just such an amazing thing. And they rescue animals across America. And that's something very interesting to know because of roadside zoos, but they also rescue animals from around the world, even from, really terrible storms, and then zoos or circus animals. So I could do a whole show on them and not even have them come on. Just so but that's where we started out yesterday. And this is out in Weld County. Is it Keensburg, Jen, for where the town is, where they are?
Yeah.
Because you know how we don't get lost.
No.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get lost.
We never
at all.
get lost.
We just took some scenic routes.
We never.
We get there.
Yeah, we all get there at some point. But also after that, we went and met Natalie at the Fort Lupton Chamber of Commerce and also Chris Cross from the city, and they took us over to this fort. And this is amazing. So this is like a recreation of the original fort, and so it was Lancaster Lupton who built this fort way back when, and so the adobe bricks were left, and then this historical society came in and rebuilt this fort, and then they have the original schoolhouse, they have the original home, they have a cabin, and they have events going nonstop. Jen, you've been out there, right?
Yes, I have. It's really, we're so lucky. We have so many fun things to do, and the Fort Lupton is one of them. And they have, in the summertime, they have a program, and I believe the Greeley museums have the same as well at their plum farm, but kids can go in and for a week, it's like a summer camp, but you learn in a one-room schoolhouse. And at the fort, what's really interesting there is that they also have these events. The biggest one for Fort Lupton is Trapper Days, but they have a lot of them throughout the year where you have people who are really involved and really interested in that period of the late 1800s and mid to late 1800s. And they will come and they will set up their teepees, and they will be in period clothing. And it's so serious that while during the day anyone can come and visit, and there's booths, and so there's some vendors that would be selling goods that they would have sold at that time, or you can just sit and talk with people, learn more about the history of fur trading and mountain men. But after sunset, the only way you can be there is if you're in period clothing.
Oh, well, see, there you go. There you go.
I want to see mountain men.
Now, look at Nancy. She's back. We pulled her out of the tank. Or the
Yay.
You just say mountain man pops
what?
up.
Yeah, finally.
She wants, now she went away. See, all she wants is mountain men. There's only two things she's been able to say on this show: rum and coke and mountain men.
I've heard them both.
I know. It's funny how that happens, but technology. It's always interesting as we travel around. I do want to say this. There's so much to see and do. We're going to be seeing more as we're here. St. Vrain State Park is on the list. Is it the Pooter Nature Center that we're going to as well, Amy?
So you're going out to the Pooter Learning Center that's along the Cashla-Pooter River, northwest of town. And the folks out there do an amazing job of educating our school children, our families about river conservation, what it's like to be at nature. And there's a lovely 21-mile trail that's paved that goes along the river. It's so peaceful. I take my bike out there on Sunday mornings and ride as often as I can. And the group out there will definitely get you going about nature and water conservation and how important we all are in our ecosystem. So I am excited that you'll be out there with Ray Chillard and Ryan Brennan on Friday morning.
Awesome. We can't wait. And Jen, we're going to the St. Vrain State Park, right?
Yes, yeah. That's about 30 minutes south of where you're at right now, and it's this little oasis in an otherwise urban area, and I think you'll be surprised by how big it feels when you're there and all the different things there to see and do. They have 6 trails, there's several ponds, there's boating and fishing, and of course bird watching. That's kind of been the theme this week. So it's a fantastic state park, and we're really just so proud that it's here in Weld County.
Well, we
camp there
discovered
every year, and I live here.
Wow, you do?
We camp there, and we live here. It's like 30 minutes away, but we
love
it so much. We camp
I
there.
Love that. So you go out camping. So you just drive down to the road for 30 minutes. Hey, that's an easy thing. And if you can stay within your county, that tells you something. If you're going to go there and camp. But the bird watching thing is really interesting here. On the lake? You go right on the lake?
Yeah, because you camp there, and our kayaks just go right from where our campsite onto the lakes at St. Vrain. It's really nice.
Cool.
And there are birds. It's very, very much a birding thing. And I love it because I just pull my kayak up into our campsite at night, and I'm good. So it's really a neat park.
Cool. You know how we are with kayaking.
Do we want to know how you are with kayaking?
No. The kayaking. We want to do kayaking next time we get here. So the thing too with St. Vrain's, Jen, isn't that also because there's Fort Lupton, Fort Vasquez, and then there's St. Vrain as well? As a fort?
So there was a fort called Fort St. Vrain. That's actually on the other side of the county, closer to the other 2 forts, Fort Vasquez and Fort Lupton. Those 3 forts are all probably about 15, 20 miles apart. They run along modern-day Highway 85, but 85 follows along the South Platte River. So those fur trading forts were all lined up along the river there.
And then the birding, that's something we saw when obviously everywhere we've gone. The Pawnee-Grasslands was absolutely amazing. But when we were in Fort Lupton, they took us to another park there, and there were birds. They were everywhere. There were swallows nesting under the bridge. There was waterfowl. There was a heron. So I think that area is also a birding destination, which is a huge deal. So that's what I'm seeing everywhere. Here, I mean, even where we're staying now in this lovely condo, thank you, Michelle, for putting this up here.
You're welcome.
There's birds in the morning, and it's like, wow, and it's such a peaceful neighborhood. To be able to, I know you've got a lot of hotels here in Greeley, but to kind of be living like a local for a few days here while we're here, you get to experience what it's like to live here, and it's so peaceful and quiet and very, very tranquil. And I think that's one of these, we all crave that in life, is to be able to go to sleep at night and hear peaceful, just nothing. Just have that quietness, and I think that's something that speaks to your area, to just have this tranquility and wake with the birds in the morning and be all happy. It's a beautiful place, and people are extremely friendly. People say hello to you as you're walking around. They don't know who you are. People were helping me, in the street today. I was photographing, the murals, and some of the people cleaning up the downtown were like, "Hey, have you experienced this? Have you seen that?" People say hello to you. This is an incredibly friendly community. So, Michelle, can I tell you just how friendly they are? Because this is what happened yesterday. So we did the wild animal sanctuary for a few hours, literally, like I think 3 to 4 hours. Then we went and explored the fort in Fort Lupton. And I think that at the end of the day, we went to Holy Stromboli. We only had one glass of wine. So I'm just saying, this is what it was. The long day, we come back to Greeley, and we pulled in to the condo that you set us up with here. And we go to the front door, and when we first met you all, you said, something about sitting outside. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's sit outside and have a glass of wine with this lovely fruit wine that Amy hooked us up with. And as we drove up, a tree branch had fallen down. Nancy moved it out of the driveway and everything, We're like, oh, yeah, there's this thing. There's like, oh, look, there's a little, patio thing we never noticed, an enclosed patio. Let's sit out there. And I opened the door, and I try to get in, and for some reason, the lock wasn't working. And so Nancy, we realized the patio thing that we thought was a patio was not a patio. And we're like, why didn't we ever realize this before? And Nancy's like, oh, are you sure you have the right house? We both start laughing. And then I checked the key that you were so nice enough to put the address on. And lo and behold, hell no, we were not in the condo that we're supposed to be in. So then, like school kids, we grab our stuff, get the giggles, and run to the car. And as we run to the car, getting in, we're like, get out of here quick before they think we're robbing the place. A gentleman steps out, and he goes, can I help you ladies? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. We try to open his house instead of the one next over. And it turns out he works at the museum, and he starts telling us all about Greeley. And and what a welcome. And that is how friendly Greeley is. I've never had that experience, because other places they'll shoot you.
You try to break in, and we just invite you in.
Totally. That is amazing, Michelle. So I hear we're not the only ones who have done this, right?
You're not. They all look alike.
But that just shows that the friendliness. Michelle, I wanted to ask you about the museum, the Colorado Toy Train Museum. Is it Toy Train? I'm getting this. I'm going to learn more. Colorado Model Railroad Museum. When we first met and talked, you were talking about how a lot of groups come in. So do you have a lot of space where, how big of a group do you handle? Do you take school groups? Do you take tour groups?
Yes, we do all of that. So our main building does not have a lot of space other than just you're in the layout, and you walk inside this train layout, and you're kind of immersed in this miniature world, and so you're inside it. But then when we do have groups who want to maybe have a dinner or something, we have a warehouse that's an old train warehouse, actually belonged to the Burlington Northern originally, Colorado and Southern Railroad. And it's very rustic, and we roll the doors up, and we have this kind of warehouse that we can be out by the train tracks. So when the trains go by, you're right there with them, and we can do dinners and stuff in there. So we actually do youth programming in there on the weekends, and the kids build layouts, and a bunch of our artifacts are in there. But our main building, we love having groups. We have 80 students coming tomorrow morning. So we do a lot of educational pieces. And so most of the schools will do a field trip, sometime during the school year. But in the summer, we get all the specialty groups, and it's really interesting. Some camps include us in their camp curriculum, and so that's kind of fun.
Oh, wow.
And then we also get the motor coach tours, the actual leisure travelers who are traveling across. We get RV groups that come. Greeley has a really nice RV park, and so we get quite a few RV travelers. Yeah. So Yeah, we have, and then we get a ton of just international travelers. People come to Colorado to see the mountains, and then many of those are rail fans, and so they'll come in and see us too. We're kind of part of the rail tour of Colorado. Colorado has 9 tourist railroads, and we consider us the 10th one. We're just little, like as in miniature. We're just little.
So this is what's interesting about this is. And speaking of miniature, you did have like miniature monsters on your trains. I heard about that today.
Oh yeah, we do. Oh
so
yeah,
that's
we
cool.
have miniature
but,
everything.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. But when people come to Colorado, when you talk about that, it's really interesting about the international folks coming in. They come to see the mountains, but you're not that far from Estes Park or Rocky Mountain Park. Amy over at the Chamber and at Visit Greeley, and when Amy's at the depot, you got to go to the depot. It's a beautiful historic building, shaded parking. Really, you can walk to the downtown from there, and all your information is there for not only Weld County and Greeley, but also for Colorado. You've got so much information, and even Wyoming, since you're butting up to the state line there. I'm just saying, the Pawnee Buttes. Sorry, but well, you've got all the information there, But do you see a lot of folks come in from around the world? I know when we were in the chamber, some of the ladies working there were saying, hey, we had people from England today. You have this map up of America. I think you're going to have to get a map of the world because it does sound like you get a lot of international folks coming over here.
We do, and it's fun when folks come through. They're coming to see the historic side of the western part of the United States. They want the western hospitality. They're interested in cowboys. So a lot of times that's the first purchase a lot of our international travelers will buy will be a cowboy hat. We have a couple of dude ranches that are in the area, and 50% of their clientele is from Europe, and they're coming out for that adventure of being on a horse, being on a cattle drive, sleeping in a tent, under the stars. So the Western hospitality, the Western heritage, all of the history that goes with it is very attractive. And what's interesting, in the next 2 weeks, we have a contingent from the Republic of Georgia coming to see the area to talk about how we have started turning a very pretty part of the plains of Colorado into a tourist destination. And they're fascinated with what we're doing and how we're doing it. And when we're in a state full of mountains and everyone thinks that everything you do in Colorado is snow and skiing, how we have a wonderful tourism business in our area because we're welcoming, we have different things to do, and I think it will be lots of fun to greet those folks in 2 weeks.
I want to say that.
I like that. I like that now.
Book. Oh, I looked through our guest book last year, and we had 42 different countries that signed our guest book. And I don't know if anybody can even name 42 countries off the top of your head. There were some, I was like, really, that's a country? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. So,
it's one of those countries.
International travelers.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. The other, when you have that many people come over, Amy, you've got hotels. Do you have, how many rooms can you accommodate here? How many people? And is it just hotels? You talk about sleeping in a tent, and then also, with the Pawnee-Grasslands, Jen. Oh my gosh, that RV, that couple that were out there, they had the view of the buttes where they were. That was amazing. Like just to go out
they did.
dry camping. Man, I want to have my Portofino wine moment there. Why didn't we bring that?
Yeah, you can bet that they're seeing some pretty amazing sunrises and sunsets out there. They were perched up on the hill that overlooks the buttes, and that's talk about peaceful and quiet and serene. They had the perfect spot there.
Oh man, so you've got camping in some of the park areas. Do you have RV parks, Amy?
We have a few RV parks that are close by. The dryland camping seems to be the most popular, and because we're on such a great route straight up into the Rocky Mountains, people are always looking for somewhere to pull off and find a spot to park their campers. We have hotels. We have we have a convention center with a hotel that's attached to it that's absolutely beautiful. It's been open for 2 years. We have lots of different types of hotels and motels in our city, so you can find something for anybody, whether you're still, you like to do the little motor court type of motel where you can park right outside your door and you have a wonderful room, or you have a convention center and you want a swimming pool that goes with it. You want to be close to restaurants. You want to be close to downtown. Greeley can accommodate whatever you need. We have a small growing bed and breakfast group, and of course there's an Airbnb everywhere you go. So there are lots of different ways to stay in Greeley. Just come on our website, visit Greeley.org, and we'll help you find things. And if you can't find it, give us a call.
I love it. I want to touch on the food factor, because Nancy and I feel like we're going to roll out of Greeley, and you've got the mountains in Colorado for us to do that. We might have to learn downhill skiing real soon. The food.
That would
be
fun.
We arrived. Yeah, the food here is out of this world. I know the first night we got here, we got in really late because Nancy and I know how to take ourselves on some detours to get to the places that we want to go. And you took us to Old Chicago, so I know that's a chain. However, it felt really comfortable, fun. The food was fantastic. We had great salads, and then we ordered Colorado beer. So that's an interesting thing that even your chain restaurants embrace Colorado, or I should say Greeley, Colorado.
They embrace it. That's the nice thing about a tight-knit community, is that we know that we support each other, and, high tides float all boats, so we take care of everybody.
Doug's Diner this morning, like seriously, I'm still full.
I know. We were
So
thinking
good.
of stopping for lunch and decided we were too full to eat lunch today because we
Yeah,
we
tequila
had
and
such a great
tacos,
time
that's
there.
tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's
We're gonna
tomorrow.
have
That's
tequila.
lunch for tomorrow. I wonder if we'll get out of there. I don't know.
I don't
and
know.
then we have some
cares?
other ideas. And then they're wonderful restaurants. We have great steakhouses. We have Japanese steakhouses. We have traditional American. We have Italian. We have wonderful Mexican food restaurants. Anything that you want, seafood restaurants, everything is here. And we have, you always are going to have your chain restaurants, which is great, and people do like those. They're comforting. And then you want to get into the places that are owned by the locals, or, cooking from, recipes from Grandma and Aunt Ruth or whoever. And that's part of a town our size's charm, is that you can find those. And if you ask for the chef to come out and visit you, they normally will. If you go just about anywhere you want to visit with folks, I think today when we went into the Union Colony Civic Center and we asked to see the building because I hadn't set that part of our tour up, and the gentleman who is the executive director for the cultural side of Greeley just happened to be there and unlocked the gorgeous concert hall for us, and there we were. Jason let us in, and we had a wonderful time. But the town is accommodating. We love visitors, and we want to make sure everybody has a great time. So you will find that whether you're in restaurants, venues, events, attractions, wherever you're going, somebody's going to say, we're so glad you're here.
Oh, I know. Everybody, even when we were at Fort Lupton, they were like, now that you're here, your family, you get into photos, you're here. We want you here.
You're here.
We want you all to
You're
come
part
here.
of the
Once
family.
you step in, you're here. You're part of, and it's that's what I say about the friendliness. The other night, it was the second night we were here, we went down to Fat Albert's restaurant, and this is a really small, tight-knit, like family-style restaurant, very old school, good food, amazing staff. They know how to pour a good full glass of wine.
Yes,
and
they do.
Just saying. And the food was great, but it was, the decor was just like this we saw all ages. Everyone was in there. Just the decor was just like, we're warm, welcoming. Come in, sit down, enjoy your food. But it's like this: you're coming to have a meal. You're here to forget what your day was like, and just relax, have a conversation, be part of it. And they opened around St. Patrick's Day, and I think they've been going for like 30 years. And
30 years. That's the best St. Patrick's party in town.
Yeah, that's their big deal. Everything is St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Day. So if anybody are coming out to Greeley in that time frame, you got to go there. They serve corned beef and cabbage all 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 day long. But we did not. We were listen. We've been stuffed full on this trip with you guys. But we had salads, and you do crave those when you're traveling. And then you want to have them in the right place, and they did that with this wonderful sweet chili salad with coconut. It was really, really good chicken salad. But they're known for their Monte Cristos, and I saw them come out. People order them at half. Oh my gosh! Like, have you had that, Amy?
It's my favorite there. I do love their Monte Cristos. They're
That's what I eat too.
deep
And
fried
you have to have the honey
and
on
wicked,
it.
but they're great.
And you put honey all over it.
Yeah.
The
honey.
Yep.
Yeah, they
you
have
to have honey with
some
them.
honey at the table. Right on, right on. Now, Fort Lupton, we went there, and then we toured the town, and the beautiful historic downtown. But we went to Holy Stromboli, and I have to tell you, the best Stromboli I've ever had. In fact, all the Stromboli in Caldona I've ever had, they just never did the dough or the crust right. It always just was this big, thick, here's your big chunk of dough, And the way they make Stromboli there, oh my gosh! I mean, it's a lot of food.
Gosh.
I ate my second half at midnight because I was like, I can't let that sit in the fridge. I want that. It was so good. We met Melissa, the owner, and this restaurant is a destination restaurant. People come from 75 miles away just to come and eat food there. The ambiance is amazing. Their wine is amazing. Great staff. And then she took us downstairs to this incredible speakeasy. Have any of you been into the speakeasy?
I have not. I have heard about it, but I have
haven't.
not gotten into it.
I got to tour it,
Listen.
but it was just me and one other person, so we didn't really get to experience what really must be happening down there when it gets going.
Yeah.
There's ghosts. It's haunted. It's a haunted place.
Ooh.
That makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, this is like a special event thing. I think it is absolutely amazing. And everybody, Holy Stromboli, and you've got to love the name too. The food, the speakeasy downstairs, you have to have a password to get in. It's like you rent it out for your group. You go in there. They got this lovely Tiffany lamps everywhere. It's got a Christmas tree with peacock feathers in that style, like the old school story of that. No, you've got to all go in there. I demand. I'm going to take you.
Melissa said the same
I'll
thing.
drive you there.
Yeah, got to get down there.
Exactly. I'll drive you there because I know how not to get lost there.
Now you can get to Fort Lupton and Holy Stromboli. That's good.
There's a lot in this county for sure. So we're very excited about what's coming up, what we're going to see. And we want to thank you, ladies, for being awesome tour guides. You're our road trip angels, and you've taken great care of us. Priscilla loves you to death. You do know that. She thanks you, and she's a little diva, but she thinks the three of you are the best. And so thank you so much. We will see you all tomorrow.
We will see you in 2 hours.
See you tomorrow.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to go eat more food. we have a choice. You
do. You have quite the choice there. So check out one of those restaurants and see what you can do. And then tomorrow we'll start again. It'll be fun.
Okay. I think I need to learn how to ride a bike now, though, after being here, because you have bike racks galore. So you've got a biking community, very active biking community. So I had to put that plug in for the world of bike racks. Everyone, again, the website for Greeley, go to visit Greeley.org. To explore the county, go to discoverweld.com. And then also you want to go to the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, go to cmrm.org. And, of course, keep up with us at nationalparktraveling.com. We do have our previous interviews with Amy and Jen on the website. Just type in Greeley or type in Weld, and you'll find it. Also, keep up with our tour at loveyourparkstour.com. We'll be blogging away on this. Priscilla, that's her job. You'll be able to read her blogs every week. We do that. We feature it in our newsletter, so sign up for our newsletter when you go on our websites. But we're going to play our tour song. This is our official tour song. It's by John Roniger. It's called My Favorite Bridge. and they have some cool bridges over here too, so it's appropriate. So here it is by John Roniger. You can keep up with him at johnronigermusic.com. Thanks so much, ladies. You take care, and we'll see you soon.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 I've never been the one to check how thin the ice is. I just skate a figure 8 until I fall right in.